Hello, welcome to Cypress Grove Orchestra's virtual open house. I am Miss Byrne. I got my music education degree from Sam Houston State University and have been teaching for 17 years in public education. I also, as many of your students have or are doing so this year, started playing cello in the fifth grade. Currently, I play in the Brazos Community Orchestra. We're a group that's committed to playing free concerts for the community. And when we get up and running, we'll start our rehearsals again as soon as we're able to. They're on pause because of COVID-19 right now. But we will gladly put out information about concerts and would enjoy having you there. So keep an eye out for concerts from the Brazos Community Orchestra. One thing I want you to know is that contacting parents and families this year is going to be a lot through Schoology. Done a lot through Schoology. So if you need your unique parent code, please email me at abyrne@csisd.org. I will also on occasion still do one-on-one emails, but again, most of my contact about our course will be done through Schoology. Reminders about redoing assignments will be done through Schoology if there's any Schoology assignments that need to be redone. So keep an eye on Schoology and go there on a regular basis to keep track of what's going on in orchestra for your student. Now, music store supplies. Most of you have these things already, but I just want to go over them real quick one more time. Instrument and bow, rosin, which is usually a rectangular box, a cleaning cloth, something soft to wipe down the wood of the instrument. Doesn't have to be from the music store, but it can be. I've always taken old t-shirts and just cut them up into little fragments of the cloth to wipe down my instruments. So as long as it's soft and not rough, it will work. Shoulder rests for violins, violas, rock stops for cellos and basses, and the method book, Essential Elements for Strings, book 1 for 5th graders and book 2 for 6th graders. And then the other two items, music stand, metronome, and tuner. Now, the metronome and tuner can be purchased at a music store, but there are also many free apps out there that you can download on any device that you have at home. So if you want to download a free app, feel free to do so. I use free apps all the time to tune and to keep a steady beat. So those are perfectly acceptable. Now, the binder supplies. We're going to start working on organizing our binders here real soon, but they need a 1-inch black 3-ring binder, a 3-ring pencil pouch, which should have 2 sharpened pencils and a highlighter. Now, cellos and basses should also put their rosin, rock stop, and cleaning cloth in that pencil pouch, because once we start taking instruments home, or we have instruments at home, and they're borrowing the school instruments, we're not going to want to take those things out of the instrument case all the time to carry them back and forth. So make sure those items are in the pencil pouch, the rosin, rock stop, and cleaning cloth for cello and bass players. We'll put method books inside your binders. I can 3-ring hole punch those for them. And 2 dividers, 2 subject dividers. One that's labeled music and one that's labeled handouts. So those are the things for the binder. Now, daily practice. In orchestra, like anything new skill that you learn, you have to have daily practice. It's essential to successfully learning the new skill, and in this case, learning to play their instrument. So here are some tips on what you could do to help your student be successful in their daily practice. Talk to them about a daily practice time. If it's a practice time that's fairly consistent from day to day, they're more likely going to remember to do it, they're going to get in their routine, and they're going to be more successful achieving a practice regimen. The other thing you could do is give your student a reminder of their upcoming practice time. Even as adults, sometimes we need reminders of things. Even if they're reoccurring things, sometimes we need those reminders. So our students and your students need those reminders as well every once in a while. So try to give them reminders about their upcoming practice time. Also, not just to make sure they remember, but so they have time to mentally transition into the fact that I'm about to go practice. I need to wind down from what I'm doing right now and practice time is about to happen. That transition is easier if there is a warning. And help your student find a practice location that is fairly distraction free. That is a super important one. If there's a lot of distractions while they're trying to practice, they won't be able to focus on what they're trying to do. Their hearing of what they're playing is not going to be as good, and they're going to not be as precise in pitch and rhythm, things like that. So distraction-free areas are really good for practice time. And then the other thing you can do is make positive comments about their progress during their practice time. I was reading somewhere that athletes that succeeded really far in their careers remember their parents saying, "I really enjoyed getting to watch you play today." Oh, that was a really nice goal you made. Really good job. So if you could encourage your students, you probably are thinking some of those things already, but if you could say some of those things out loud to them, I know that goes a long way with a student, and I see that those that know that their parents are enjoying the success that they're having will enjoy practicing and working through the hard times, because practice isn't always super fun. You have to work on the things you're not always good at in order to become better. And so if they know it's worth it in many different ways, not just for themselves but for other people, then they're more willing to spend that time practicing. Now, because practice is so important, we will have a regular weekly assignment of a practice log. So as instruments are home, with fifth graders in a little bit, they'll be going home in about a week or so, and with sixth graders already starting this process, we are doing practice logs online in Schoology. There is an assignment that is pushed out every week in Schoology. Students should be practicing a minimum of 5 days per week. More is better, but little bits of time consistently throughout the week is better than just 1 or 2 really long practice sessions. So little chunks of time throughout the week, at least 5 days of the week, is what's expected for good, successful progression. And each practice session that's reported in Schoology will have the following information: a SMART goal. It will tell me what was practiced during that goal, that practice period, how and what they did in order to achieve that SMART goal, and what strategies they used during that practice session. Did they focus on just a few measures? Did they forget about rhythm and decide to just focus on pitch with a tuner? Or did they do the opposite and forget about pitch and just worry about the rhythm for a little bit? A lot of different practice techniques that are listed in that document for the practice log that they could be used, among others that are not even listed there as well. So SMART goal, what was practiced, and the strategies used during that session are the important things in that practice log. And then they also have a spot to tell me how much they practiced that day. So as I see those practice logs, I will let your students know what maybe they could be doing to improve their practice time that they're not doing in class. That way, practice time at home is more successful. So I'll use that as a tool to teach about personal practice time with your students. Now, concerts and rehearsals. In a normal school year, concerts and rehearsals would have been published by now and handed out to you. But because of COVID-19, we are holding off on some of the things that we're doing on a regular basis, exactly the way we're doing it. We cannot have large audiences for a concert. So the plan at this time is to record performances from home during class time and push them out via your student's Schoology course. As the year progresses and the concert plan changes, I will be sure to keep you informed. So again, in Schoology, that's how you'll find out if there's a change in plans. So make sure again that you're keeping track of how you log into Schoology. Become a member under your student's name. That way you can be informed about everything that's going on in orchestra and all the changes to things like concerts, because in a normal school year I would have given you those concert dates and rehearsal dates by now, and you would have known in advance those things so that your student can attend, because those kinds of things are required and mandatory for students. Now, concert dress. Again, this is not a normal school year, so we are at this time still making that decision as to what's going to happen with concert attire when we do record our concerts. But as more information becomes available, I will let you know. But for a normal school year, concert dress is a black orchestra polo that I do a mass order for. So there's that. Then it's black slacks or long skirt. As long as it's solid black, it's a skirt past the knees or pants that go all the way to the legs. It's fine with me. No jeans, no athletic wear though. And then black socks, or if ladies want to wear pantyhose or tights with their outfit, they can do that. It needs to be black or skin color. And black dress shoes. They don't need to be fancy dress shoes of any sort. They just need to be dress shoes of some sort that are not tennis shoes, not flip-flops, so something just a little step up from a flip-flop or a tennis shoe. Now, fingernails. This is something that not every person thinks about very carefully when it comes to orchestra, because they're just not aware. But fingernail length is super important in learning to play a string instrument, because as you see in the right hand picture, when we have to put down fingers on the fingerboard, that long black piece that you see just underneath the finger, that has to make firm contact with the fingerboard, that finger does, in order to press the string down correctly. So we need to make sure those fingernails are short so they do not interfere with the ability of the finger to press down. And one way to know if your fingernails are short enough for playing a string instrument is to take your finger tip on a hard surface, stand your finger straight up and down, and if that nail starts to bend or push your finger out of the way and not allow it to stand straight up easily, then you know that fingernail is a little bit on the long side and then you would need to trim it. So the last thing I want to talk about is middle school region orchestra. Middle school region orchestra is something that it's available to 6th graders, 7th and 8th graders as well. And it's a competition that when the students prepare a particular set of music, and that music can be found in Schoology as of right now, they perform that for an audition, and based on how well they rank among everybody else that is auditioning in our area, they may or may not make it. Now, 6th graders, I've had them make it every year. It's not a guarantee that a 6th grader will make it, because again, they're competing against 7th and 8th graders. They just have more experience, so they might have an easier time polishing the music and make it sound refined than a 6th grader might. But it's worth giving it a try if they are interested in learning about the audition process and interested in possibly becoming part of the region orchestra. So this year the audition process will be completed via digital recordings, and I will ask for final commitment to the audition process about mid-October. Okay. Auditions will be November 14th, all day. We are working on how that recording is going to be made, so as soon as I know enough information to hand out to people that are wanting to audition, I will give the information out. And then if they make the group, the clinic concert this year will actually be in January 30th. Now, currently the plan is to do a live concert clinic event, but as things progress with COVID-19, this plan will be appropriately modified and communicated out to y'all. So if we realize that that's not the best plan to take place for the end of January with the way things progress with COVID-19, we will certainly modify that plan to do a live clinic concert event and let you know how things will be handled at that point. I hope you enjoyed our virtual orchestra open house, And again, if you have any questions, do not hesitate to ask me, to let me know. Email me, message me in Schoology. And again, Schoology will be our main form of communication. So if you do not have your unique parent code, please email me to get that so that you can get set up for Schoology to get all the information you might want about orchestra throughout the school year.